Bruce, you must have something really good too.
Of course I do. It's Bruce Danielson, and I guess I'm here to entertain you too.
All right, good evening. Welcome to our Tuesday, June 18 Sioux Falls City Council meeting. Thanks to those who are joining us online and those here in person. Clerk will go ahead and get started and read our roll, please.
Councilmember Staley? Here. Brecky? Erickson? Here. Kiley?
Here.
Neitzert?
Here.
Selberg?
Here.
Sale?
Here.
Starr?
Here. All right, tonight we are pleased to have Pastor Austin White with Celebrate Church to lead us in our invocation. So I'd ask that you stand for that. And Austin will lead in that, and then stay standing for our Pledge of Allegiance, which will follow immediately after.
So much. Thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for our beautiful city of Sioux Falls. God, we thank you so much for our government workers, for how they serve our city with excellence, how they serve our city with diligence, and how they serve our city in ways that we don't even see. God, we thank you so much for the government. We thank you for those who serve our country. We thank you for those that lay down our lives, and we can be here in freedom for that reason. So God, we thank you for all that. And ultimately, God, we thank you for your sacrifice. We thank you that for you so loved the world, that Father, you gave your one and only Son, so that we don't need to perish, but we can have eternal life forever with you. God, we thank you for that promise today. God, we invite you in this place, and we are so thankful to be able to be here in freedom. God, you are great, you are awesome, and you are amazing. We thank you. And in the powerful and beautiful name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you coming again. Okay. All right, we'll move on to item 4, which is our consent agenda. I'd ask if there's any changes or motions on that.
Move to approve, Erickson.
Second, Kiley.
Mr. Mayor,
All right, motion approved by Erickson, seconded by Councilor Kiley. Councilor Starr.
I'd like to pull items 12 through 15.
All right. Are there any other changes, council? Okay, if not, I'd ask for a vote on that motion, please.
Councilmember Staley?
Yes.
Brecky?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Kiley?
Yes.
Neitzert?
Yes.
Selberg?
Yes.
Sale?
Yes.
Starr?
Yes.
All right, that passes 8-0. We'll move on to our regular agenda for the evening and look for any changes or motions on that item.
Move to approve, Erickson.
Second, Sale.
All right, motion approved by Erickson, seconded by Sale. Any discussion on that, council? Okay, a vote, please.
Councilmember Staley?
Yes.
Brecky?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Kiley?
Yes.
Neitzert?
Yes.
Selberg?
Yes.
Sale?
Yes.
Starr?
Yes.
All right, that passes 8-0. We're at the general public input portion of our agenda tonight. As a reminder, input during this portion will last no more than 3 minutes per person and in total last no more than 30 minutes. During general public input, the public is welcome to speak on any topic that does not appear later on in the agenda. For regular agenda items following general public input, comments are limited to 3 minutes unless the item is being presented for final adoption, in which case public input is limited to 5 minutes. For all regular agenda items, comments are limited to the agenda item under consideration only, please. At this time, I'd like to invite members of the public forward for general public input. And clerk, please note our time is 7:04. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council. I'm here tonight to ask...
Can you state your name, sir?
I'm sorry, Vince Bartman.
All right, Vince.
I'm here tonight to ask the council to consider putting 9 flags in the Multicultural Center representing our 9 tribes of South Dakota. That is a very important heritage and history to us. And also in the Falls Park, if there would be dog bags, like what you have out here, doggy poo drop-off, I looked throughout the Falls Park and I didn't see any signs. You have your caution signs, which is great, but nothing for the dogs to be picked up after. And also, if the council would consider bringing back the laser show out at the Falls Park. That is such a major part of history. I have a lot of people when I'm sitting out there that come from out of state. You have a lot of out-of-staters enjoying that beautiful park. And why not have that laser show come back and everybody enjoy the history of it? There's so much to learn there. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you, Vince.
One last thing, Mr. Mayor. I really like that Old Glory up there. Is there any chance of put MIA POW flag up there? Would you consider that?
Absolutely would consider that. You bet.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
My name is Arnold Marshall, and I'm here to speak about, well, I'm in agreement with that gentleman about the 9 flags in the multicultural center that represent the Sioux Nation. I've been here for 13, 14 years in the city, and I see Native Americans come to this city from the reservation and have no way to transition into the society here. But I've also seen many foreigners who come here and are given the opportunity to actually transition and have all the help and support that they need to come into our society. So I'm a little befuddled about what I see, and I just, hope and pray that somebody take those things into account, and I know this has probably been said many times before, but I'm talking about an invisible people that's right before us every day, and we walk past them, we do this and we do that, and we just degrade them and everything. That's all I have to say.
Thank you for your comments. Good evening.
I hope I make it to 3 minutes, but please don't throw me off. I'll try my best. Okay.
Can you say your name, Clara?
Oh, yes. My name is Clara Hart. I live on 4906 South Kalen Place. I'm here today to talk about not those foreigners, but refugees. Now, I have a question for you. You don't have to answer. Questions you've always wanted to ask a refugee. When you hear the word refugee, what immediately comes to your mind? Is it an image of a person or a family in a camp? Or is it someone fleeing violence? Are they old or young? Or a man or a woman? Many people have formed mental image of refugees and their experiences, but it may not be the most accurate. So, I'm here today to invite you to an event on Thursday at First Lutheran Church. So I'm going to read this press release. Sioux Falls, South Dakota, in commemoration of World Refugee Day, local elected officials will join refugees and faith leaders at First Lutheran Church on Thursday, June 20th, 2019. Speakers will highlight the administration's 75% cut to refugee admissions over the past 2 years and the contributions refugee leaders have made to the community. And we expect Mayor Tenhaken, refugee leaders, faith leaders, and community members and students to offer a few words of support to former refugees and what contributions we have made in this city and our state of South Dakota. Since 1946, First Lutheran Church, through LSS, has supported refugees, immigrants, and other displaced individuals, in addition to providing sustainable relief and development solutions to communities that wrestle with hunger and poverty. Learn more about our work and join our global home base for refugees. So I'm here to thank you all, the member of the room, that without your support, and you're welcome,
Thank you,
I will
Claire.
not be here to stand. And I'm grateful, and I hope you continue to show us support. We're not bad people.
Thank you.
We're here to make a living and start a second life.
Thank
or
you,
be
Clara.
given a second chance like you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. I hope you come, Mayor Kankin.
Thank you. Good evening.
Mayors, councilors, I'm John Cunningham, 4904 South Oxbow. I have a master's degree in public administration and a real interest in the subject, and I'd like to share my thoughts with you. There have been some questions in the media concerning the state of the city and its decision-making process, with occasional references to the form of government, but never a real explanation of how it affects the state of the city. The Sioux Falls form of government is strong mayor, with the mayor as head of both branches, the administration and the council. And this form is ideal for small towns like Valley Springs, Colton, Humboldt, etc., where the mayor and the city council sit down together and they decide what's to be done, and the mayor goes off and does it. If the mayor forces through a bad decision, it's by definition a small problem because it's a small city. Larger cities rarely have this form of government and almost always separate the management from the legislative branch. The majority of intermediate and larger sized cities implement the council manager form of government, where the mayor and the city council hire a professional manager and oversee that professional manager. The second most common, especially in large cities, is the mayor-council form, where the mayor is separate from the council, either similar in organization to state and federal governments. The mayor administers the city, usually with a professional deputy, and the council performs its two legislative responsibilities: legislation regarding the operation of the city, as well as the responsibility of legislative audit. Legislative audit takes two forms. Everyone understands the financial audit to ensure that the mayor and financial staff adhere to legal and professional standards. An equally important but lesser known responsibility is the operational audit, where auditors employed by the council ensure that the other administrative departments also adhere to applicable laws, regulations, ordinances, and professional standards. I worked and by doing so, reduced the risk to the city. I worked at one time for Prince William County, Virginia, and we had a full-time internal audit department appointed by and reporting to the county supervisors, the equivalent of commissioners. And the lack of that requirement for an operational audit in the charter is an omission that I consider serious. A problem with the strong mayor form is that the mayor often casts the deciding vote, especially in Sioux Falls. If the mayor casts the deciding vote on a fiscal or operational auditor, the auditor may not be independent. No one should ever be involved in hiring those that audit him or her. My point is that Sioux Falls is not a small town, and long ago outgrew the strong mayor form of government and should consider either the council manager or separate mayor-council form with a strong independent council overseeing the administration with an annual financial audit and an operational audit, either
Thanks, John.
contracted or with city employees. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Good evening.
Dwayne Skipper. I resisted turning on the lawn sprinkler system this past week, and here's why. Since 2006, the dollars paid for the city monopoly water utilities has tripled or increased 200%. By 2010, 4 years later, water rates had increased 83% and sewer rates 89%. There is no third-party oversight commission to review the rate increases. Here are some examples of profit margins in the water part of billing. The numbers are from city budgets, as actual numbers are not easily obtained. In 2005, the user fee income was $15 million, and after expenses, the profit was $5.5 million, or 36.7% profit margin. In 2010, user fee income jumped 94.5% to $28.2 million and generated $13.9 million in profit, or 49.3% profit margin. This is the result of very large rate increases beginning in 2006. By 2015, the profit is $17.6 million, or a profit margin of 51.3%. In the 2019 Water Department budget, the user fee income is now $37.8 million and will generate $19.2 million in profit, or a 50.8% profit margin. The wastewater part of your utility bill, the profit margins are even larger. A 2005 profit of $3 million, or 31.9%, has increased to a 2019 profit of $22.4 million, or a 64.8% profit margin. Apparently, profit margins approaching 30% for 20 years of water billing with user fee rates unchanged allowed the city to grow by $45 million. This happened from 1985 to 2005. The rapid growth rate of Sioux Falls should be supported by connection, tap, or impact fees paid by new homeowners, businesses, and developers. In addition, existing sales tax, city budget adjustments, and more hardline negotiations with state and federal sources of funding would help lower the burden on existing residents. Less than 3% of the combined 2019 water utilities budget of $102 million comes from sources other than city water billing. Property and sales tax funding sources are not used.
Thank you. Is there anyone else tonight for public input?
Hi, Stephen Ciano. Let's go back to, it's all about discrimination against me for my beliefs, my alleged sexual orientation, and then my disability since '78. I was refused acknowledgement of my disability by many in the federal, state, local government, different states. And I come here and having a problem with the VA covertly depriving me of my needs. And I turned to the locals. I turned to the city people. Well, I did have a valid confirmation of my PTSD, as well as Asperger's, which is an autism spectrum condition, and a high degree of that. And that was confirmed when in county and city supported Southeastern Behavioral Health, a psychiatrist, knowingly, deliberately, falsely, apparently, I gotta say apparently, I understand I could be held liable if I say something that's untrue, but it was already documented, already confirmed, and I was declared delusional. Subsequent to that, and then the VA picked up on it and declared me knowingly, with evidence to the contrary, declared me incompetent and sent reportedly about $300,000 to First Premier Bank. I contacted the president and the CEO of that organization to let them know that there was a theft by fraud by that institution, and that was also depriving me because they were claiming I was getting all this, and I wasn't for years. None of that was used for me. For years, it was held and pretended. I lost my ability to pay rent and had to owe somebody, by the time I got the matter somewhat corrected, about $35,000 in rent, back rent. And I'm finally in a place that still doesn't suit my needs, consistent with my disability. And I've tried to go to human relations and gotten nowhere. I see that as discriminatory by them, as well as trying to get the clinic, the city clinic, county city clinic again, to get the records to prove and help me access payment through VA, which they have refused, for my medical care. So I've been without pretty much. They've given me basic. Yeah, I appreciate that. But
Thank you,
VA
Stephen. All right, clerk, we'll move on to items 12 to 15 that were pulled from our consent agenda.
Okay, items 12, 13, 14, and 15 are all for the Cara Lee Davis Living Trust and Donald L. Davis Credit Trust, 4323 Town Park Place, parcel 39764, for 2010 property taxes in the amount of $1,894.41. The reason: qualified for surviving spouse of P&T veteran but missed the application deadline. Item 13 is the same information, except it's for 2011 property taxes in the amount of $1,431.69. Item 14 is the same information, except it's for 2012 property taxes in the amount of $1,504.77. Item 15 is the same information, except for 2013 property taxes in the amount of $1,560.97.
All right, Councilor Starr.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, if I could ask if there's anyone here from the trust that wanted to explain why they applied late. I would take that as no.
I don't see anyone.
I guess my only other thing was a question for the city attorney, if you could explain what a P&T veteran is.
Well, that information was provided by the county. I can speculate that it means permanent and total disabled veteran, but they didn't include the disabled, so I'm speculating.
That's okay. With what was, if I could, Mr. Mayor, with what was provided from the county, was there anyone that said that they weren't living at this location, or was it strictly because they missed the application deadline?
I do not know. You know, that would be an evidentiary matter for the county. I would point out that, you know, you look at that status, but the dates would also be a concern when it comes to a recommendation, because there's a 4-year requirement. And of course, these all, the newest of which is from 2013. So,
understand. That's all I have.
Okay. Any other discussion on this item? All right. I need a motion. And again, a motion would be to approve the denial as recommended by the county.
Move to approve.
All right.
Second, Nitzert.
Okay. Move to approve by Kylie, seconded by Nitzert. Any further discussion?
I have a question. Is that for all 4 items? The motion seconds for all 4 items?
All 4 items?
Yes.
Your motion was for, correct? Yes.
Okay.
All right. Any discussion? Councilor Brecky.
Turn your mic on.
Turn your mic on, please.
It's on. It's on.
But not, there it is. Okay, thank you. I'm wanting to understand again, you know, what our legal obligations are, or what discretion we have or don't have with this, the passage of this. Is this, again, one of those things that we don't have a lot of discretion on?
right, chapter SDCL 10-18 provides that a municipality should provide a recommendation, basically. And so, again, since the city receives a benefit of taxes paid, the city has the ability to make a recommendation as to the handling of any requested abatements. The statute's very narrow on the exceptions for that, essentially limited to active duty, military members, or the time frame that Councilor Starr and I discussed. So is to make a recommendation to the county as to how they should handle it, but at the end of the day, the county is the one that's going to have the hearing where evidence would be taken to determine whether or not the denial should in fact be entered.
Thank you. I just, for the benefit of the public and those that may be watching, I just wanted them to understand that we're not necessarily denying this as much as we are passing it through to the county, because there's not anything specific that we have to base a denial on. And then the county's ultimately the one responsible for making the evidentiary hearing. I just think it's important that people understand we're not just ignoring this, but we kind of are limited as to what we can do.
Correct.
Thank you.
Counselor Staley?
So in the past, we have had, I think there was a 3-3 vote on this, but there was no military involvement on that one. So at what point does the military consideration come in?
Well, it's really, again, the only recognized exception in state law. So when it comes, members of the public, if they are requesting the abatement, can come with any number of reasons that they would request, but it's at the state law level where they say when you can be granted that, and it has to be within 4 years, and that has to be the reason. And so when you make the recommendation, you're basing that on the information that's provided to the city, but it's not binding on the county, and the county can take that and they can weigh that along with the actual facts as they hear them. And
So a no vote means that we would support the abatement.
well, you're making a recommendation, and in this case, you're recommending denial because they missed the deadline.
But so if you vote yes, then you're not recommending the denial.
Well, we've discussed this before. They've missed
Right.
Right. So you're voting in favor of the motion to recommend denial of the abatement?
If you vote yes.
Yes.
Okay.
If I could, Mr. Mayor, I just have one more question for the city attorney then. Do we have the ability as the city, as a separate entity from the county, to rebate or abate the city's portion of the taxes that they're requesting?
No. State law does not allow that.
Okay.
This is the relief that the city, this is the role the city's required to play by statute.
All right. Counselor Neitzer, do you want to chime in on this?
I will reiterate, I vote yes on these because I'm going to recommend to the county that based on the information I have, that they not break the law and grant the abatement. I don't like it, but it's the law. We're sworn to uphold the law.
All right, I'll call for a vote, please.
Councilmember Staley?
No.
Brecky?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Kylie?
Yes.
Nitzert?
Yes.
Selberg?
Yes.
Sale?
Yes.
Starr?
No. All right, that passes 6-2. Next item, please.
Item 26 is a new 2019-20 retail malt beverage South Dakota farm wine license for Crown Casino East 2, 2417 East 10th Street, with conditional use permit 819 to 2018 being approved on March 7, 2018, pending final inspections per building services. Item 27 is to request to add video lottery terminals with the 2019-20 retail malt beverage South Dakota farm wine license for Crown Casino East 2, 2417 East 10th Street, with conditional use permit 8109-2018 being approved on March 7, 2018, pending final inspections per building services. Item 28 is a new 2019-20 retail malt beverage South Dakota farm wine license and 2019 retail wine and cider license for Napolitano Pizza Concepts, 2300 South Minnesota Avenue, Suite B, with conditional use permit 9/22/2018 being approved on October 13th, 2018, pending final inspections per Fire, Health, and Building Services. Item 29 is a special one-day malt beverage license for Elride Shriners to be held at Nyberg's Ace Parking Lot, 200 East 12th Street, 1st Avenue between 11th Street and 14th Street, East 12th Street and East 13th Street between 1st and 2nd Avenue for Hot Classics Nights on July 27, 2019. Item 30 is a special one-day malt beverage and special one-day wine and special one-day off-sale wine licenses for the Catholic Community Foundation for Eastern South Dakota to be operated at Avera IT Parking Lot, 212 East 11th Street for a fundraiser on August 24th, 2019.
Thank you, Clerk. Good evening, Jamie.
Good evening, Jamie Palmer with licensing items. I'm here to answer any questions that you have on items 26 through 30. I will mention that the attorney for the applicant on items 26 and 27 are here if you have any questions for them.
All right, thanks, Jamie. Anyone from the public here to speak on any of these items tonight? All right, councilors, do you have any questions for Jamie on these?
I'll move to approve items 26 through 30.
Second, Sale.
All right, a motion to approve by Councilor Erickson, seconded by Sale. Any discussion, council? All right, let's take a vote, please.
Councilmember Staley?
Yes.
Brecky?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Kylie?
Yes.
Nitzert?
Yes.
Selberg?
Yes.
Sale?
Yes.
Star?
Yes.
Okay, that passes 8-0. Next item.
Next item is a second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, approving the naming of a facility space on public property.
Hey, Russ.
Good evening, Mayor, City Councilors, Sioux Falls. My name is Russ Sorensen with the Planning and Building Services Department. This evening, the applicant, SMG, Rick Huffman, is here this evening. They are requesting consideration for our second reading of the ordinance for an application for naming of a space at the Denny Premier Center, located at 1201 Northwest Avenue. Dakota Beverage is one of the signature partners at the Premier Center, and the previous name was Leinenkugel Lodge. It had expired, and the space is currently unnamed. The new proposed name is Coors Light Cold Zone, located on the main concourse within the Premier Center. The Coors Light Cold Zone sits at center ice in relation to the arena floor. Public access to this 1,188 square foot area will feature 2 bars, high top tables, chairs, and a standing rail overlooking the area. The proposed term and investment of this is a 5-year marketing partnership between the Denny Sanford Premier Center and Dakota Beverage that totals over $337,500. And we begin July 1 of this year and run through 2023. On May 17th, 2019, the City Naming Committee considered the application and unanimously recommended approval. There has been no public comments received on this naming request.
Thank you, sir. Anyone from the public wish to speak on this topic tonight? Councilors, do you have questions for Russ on this?
Move to approve, Erickson.
All right, motion approved by Councilor Erickson,
Second.
seconded by Councilor Kylie. Discussion, council? All right, let's take a vote on this, please.
Councilmember Staley?
Yes.
Brecky?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Kylie?
Yes.
Nitzert?
Yes.
Selberg?
Yes.
Sale? Star?
Yes.
All right, that passes 8-0. Item 32.
Item 32 is a second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, amending the Code of Ordinances of the city by revising Title 7 Traffic Code in Chapter 95 Parks and Recreation to provide for the definition of e-bicycles and operation of certain e-bicycles in the same manner as bicycles.
Good evening, Kelby.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. Kelby Maris with Parks and Recreation. These e-bike ordinance updates are as a result of state legislation that was passed earlier this year and will take effect on July 1st. The ordinance updates will mirror state law, especially in the area of defining an e-bike and the classes, and it will also uphold the e-bike ordinances that are currently in place. The e-bike classes, again, just as a reminder, a Class 1 e-bike is a pedal assist, will assist the rider up to 20 miles an hour while the rider is pedaling. Class 2 is a throttle assist up to 20 miles an hour, and a Class 3 is a pedal assist up to 28 miles an hour. And essentially what it boils down to is where can people ride their e-bikes. Again, being consistent with current city ordinance on the bike trail and on sidewalks, Class 1 e-bikes only would be allowed, but then on streets, bike lanes, on side paths, and on cycle tracks, all 3 classes of e-bikes would be acceptable. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right, thanks, Kelby. Anyone from the public care to speak on this topic? All right, councilors, do you have questions? Councilor Nitzert.
I can't remember, does the new state law say that all 3 classes have to be allowed on the side paths?
It
Is that our
allows for
choice?
it, but the state law does allow for local control. So we would have the ability not to allow it on side paths, but the state legislation does allow all 3 classes on a side path.
And which ones, is there any where we're restricted that we can't? Is there any areas where they say it has to be all 3 or something like that?
Well, they allow for all 3 classes, and we are only allowing the Class 1 on our recreation trail and sidewalks. So we're being more restrictive in that.
So for all of them, we're allowed to be more restrictive than state law if we choose?
Yes.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Other questions for Kelby? Councilor Staley?
Kelby, this is more of a statement, but someone had contacted me and asked if we could ever have some of those solar speed signs on the bike trail. It's 20 miles an hour, right? On the
15 miles.
It's 15. So would that be something that you'd ever consider putting up?
Something we can research the possibility of, yes.
And I think I've asked you this before, and I'll ask the question again. How often do you have people speeding on the bike trail?
Well, I would say that it likely happens quite often, but usually we don't usually receive many complaints. But I do know, especially on areas like up around the airport on the levee system where it's wide open and not very busy, I would guess that people are going faster than that 15 miles an hour.
Are they getting a ticket then? Is that something that we have?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
So there's no enforcement involved if you're going too fast?
Not the active enforcement that I've been informed of would be as a result of complaints, and we don't receive many complaints about speed on the bike trail.
So, and we don't have like policemen on bikes riding around? Like, I thought there was some kind of a
Yes, the police department does have a very significant presence on the bike trail, especially during the busy months.
They just don't have one of those radar guns with them, probably. Okay.
Thank you.
The chief is saying no. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions on this for Kelby? Okay.
Move to approve, Erickson.
Yeah, I was going to say, we don't have a motion on the floor yet, correct, clerk?
No.
Okay. Second, Selberg. Motion approved by Erickson, seconded by Selberg. Further discussion, council? All right, we'll take a vote, please.
Councilmember Staley?
Yes.
Brecky?
Yes.
Erickson? Yes. Kylie?
Yes.
Nitzert?
Yes.
Selberg?
Yes.
Sale?
Yes.
Starr?
Okay, that passes 8-0. Next item, please.
Next item is a second reading and ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, amending the Code of Ordinances of the city by revising Chapter 116, pawnbrokers and dealers in precious metals and gems, to remove reference to gun dealers from separate consideration.
Good evening, Chief.
Good evening, Police Chief Matt Burns. Councilors, as you are aware and heard last week from Keith Allenstein, in the wake of the legislature passing HB 1056, which will take in effect July 1st, this ordinance before you attempts to comply with this new law by removing the separate gun dealer designation and requirement that all firearms purchased by those dealers be reported. Additionally, it adds that serial number items and e-bicycles purchased by secondhand goods dealers must also be reported in addition to the items those dealers were already required to report. Keith Allenstein did give a detailed presentation last week, so with that, I'd just answer any questions you may have.
Thanks, Chief. Is anyone from the public here to speak on this topic tonight? All right, councilors, do you have any questions for Chief on this one? Councilor Starr.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Chief, are we doing anything different? I mean, the enforcement's the same, the way we're looking online is the same to trace the firearms that are being purchased. So basically, we're just making a couple of name changes and really not doing anything different. The enforcement still stays the same.
Functionally, our efforts to recover property for victims and hold criminals accountable for the theft is the same.
Thank you.
Other questions, council? Councilor Kiley?
No questions other than my support for this. I mean, obviously, it is a method that can be employed to retrieve stolen weapons, as well as protecting the purchaser from mistakenly, unknowingly purchasing a weapon that has been stolen, and then not only losing their money invested, but also the weapon if it is discovered, subsequently discovered. So I think it's helpful on a number of fronts. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Any other questions for the chief on this? Look for a motion on this item.
Approve.
Okay.
Second.
Move to approve by Kiley, seconded by Erickson. Further discussion amongst the council on this? All right, we'll take a vote, please.
Councilmember Staley? Yes. Brecky?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Kylie?
Yes.
Nitzert?
Yes.
Selberg?
Yes.
Sale?
Yes.
Starr?
Oh.
All right, that passes 7-1. Item 34.
Item 34 is a first reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, amending the Code of Ordinances of the city by revising Chapter 110 licenses to remove reference to gun dealers from separate consideration. Recommendation, set a date of second reading for Tuesday, July 2nd, 2019.
Councilors, again, more cleanup consistent with the changes made to Chapter 116 that we just covered in item 33. This ordinance removes the reference to gun dealers from separate consideration. It effectively eliminates the requirement for gun dealers to be licensed in the city.
Thanks, Chief. Anyone from the public here to speak on this item? Councilors, any questions for Chief Burns on this?
Move to set the second reading for Tuesday, July 2nd.
Second.
All right, moved by Erickson, seconded by Kylie. Discussion? Let's vote on that, please.
Councilmember Staley?
Yes.
Brecky?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Kylie?
Yes.
Nitzert?
Yes.
Selberg?
Yes.
Sale?
Yes.
Star?
No.
All right, that passes 7-1. Next item.
Next item is 35 is a first reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property located north of West 41st Street and east of South Grinnell Avenue from the O Office and CN Conservation Districts to the RS Single Family Residential Suburban, RCD Residential Cluster Development Planned Unit Development, and RD1 Twin Home Duplex Residential Suburban Districts number 10101, 2019, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval 4-0 with the following conditions. 1, development in the RD1 zoning districts to be limited to the following forms: AD1 attached dwelling suburban twin home duplex and AD2 attached dwelling suburban 4-unit townhome. Recommendation set a date of second reading for Tuesday, July 2nd, 2019.
Good evening, Jason Bieber representing Planning and Development Services. This is an application by Scott Gilbert with R&B Flower Fields LLC. It's located at the northeast corner of South Grinnell Avenue and West 41st Street, just west of the Cliff Avenue Greenhouse. It's about 7.62 acres in size. The purpose of this rezoning is they're looking at continuing to develop the existing single family in the northeast corner. As you can see here, finish out that subdivision. And then in the southwest corner, right along 41st and Grinnell, they're looking at constructing some twin homes that abut up to West 41st Street. And then on the north side of what will be West Flower Fields Place, they're looking at constructing some villa-type units in a cluster planned unit development.
Thank you, Jason. Anyone from the public care to speak on this topic tonight? All right, councilors, do you have questions for Jason on this one? Look for a motion, set a date of second reading for Tuesday, July 2.
So moved.
Second, Sale.
All right, motion by Kylie on that, seconded by Sale. Discussion on it, council? All right, we'll vote, please.
Councilmember Staley? Brecky?
Yes.
Erickson? Kylie?
Yes.
Nitzert?
Yes.
Selberg?
Yes.
Sale?
Yes.
Star?
Yes.
Okay, that passes 8-0. Item 36.
Item 36 is a first reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property located at 510 South 5th Avenue from the RD1 Twin Home Duplex Residential Suburban District to the RT1 Single Family Residential Traditional District, number 10261, 2019, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval 4-0. Recommendation set a date of second reading for Tuesday, July 2nd, 2019.
The applicant and owner here is John Cook. It's located at 510 South 5th Avenue, just east of the railroad tracks, just east of downtown Sioux Falls. It's about 0.113 acres in size, a pretty small lot. And the purpose is the applicant is looking at constructing a single-family house on a lot that's less than 50 feet wide.
All right, thanks, Jason. Anyone from the public who would like to speak to this item here? Councilors, do you have questions for Jason on this? All right, look for a motion, set a date of second reading for Tuesday, July 2.
Move approval. Second, Sale.
All right, moved by Councilor Selberg and seconded by Sale. Any discussion, council? We'll take a vote, please.
Councilmember Staley?
Yes.
Brecky?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Kylie?
Yes.
Nitzert?
Yes.
Selberg?
Yes.
Sale?
Yes.
Star?
Yes.
Okay, that passes 8-0. Item 37.
Item 37 is a first reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property located south of East 69th Street and east of South Bonson Avenue from the RD1 Twin Home Duplex Residential Suburban District to the RD2 Town Home Residential Suburban District, number 10320, 2019, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. The Planning Commission recommends approval 4-0. Recommendation set a date of second reading for Tuesday, July 2nd, 2019.
The applicant and owner here is Doug Allen with Allen Development. This is located just east of the roundabout at 69th and Southeastern and south of the new Horizon Harrisburg Elementary School. It's roughly 4.67 acres in size. The purpose of this rezoning is the applicant is looking to construct some 3-plex and 4-plex townhome type units.
Thanks, Jason. Anyone from the public here to speak on this topic tonight? Councilors, questions for Jason on this one? All right, look for a motion to set a date of second reading for Tuesday, July 2 on it.
Move approval. Second Sale.
All right, motion to set that date by Selberg, seconded by Sale. Any discussion? We'll take a vote.
Councilmember Staley?
Yes.
Brecky?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Kylie?
Yes.
Nitzert?
Yes.
Selberg?
Yes.
Sale?
Yes.
Star?
Okay, that passes 8-0. Next item, please.
Mr. Mayor, I need
Yes,
to
Counselors.
recuse myself on items 38 and 39.
All right, Counselor Erickson will be recused. Go ahead, you're on.
Item 38 is a first reading and ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota rezoning property located at 1303 South Phillips Avenue from the RT1 Single Family Residential Traditional District to the RT2 Townhome Residential Traditional District number 10330-2019 and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. The Planning Commission recommends approval 4-0. Recommendation set a date of second reading for Tuesday, July 2nd, 2019.
The applicant and owner here is Tony Erickson with Erickson Properties LLC. This is located just west of Phillips Avenue on the boulevard. It's about 0.2 acres in size. The purpose of this rezoning is we're looking to correct the zoning to match the existing land use. It's been a 5-unit converted house for some time.
All right, thanks, Jason. Anyone from the public here to speak on this topic tonight? All right, councilors, do you have any questions for Jason on this one? All right, look for a motion, set a date of second reading for Tuesday, July 2 on it.
So moved. Second Sale.
All right, motion by Kylie and seconded by Sale on that. Any discussion? We'll vote, please.
Councilmember Staley?
Yes.
Brecky?
Yes.
Kylie?
Yes.
Nitzert?
Yes.
Selberg?
Yes.
Sale?
Yes.
Star?
Yes.
Okay, that passes 7-0. Item 39.
Item 39 is a first reading and ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota rezoning property located at 1702 South Phillips Avenue from the RS Single Family Residential Suburban District to the RD1 Twin Home Duplex Residential Suburban District, number 10361, 2019, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. The Planning Commission recommends approval 4-0. Recommendation set a date of second reading for Tuesday, July 2nd, 2019.
The applicant and owner here is also Tony Erickson with Erickson Properties LLC. This is located at 1702 South Phillips Avenue, a couple of blocks south of the previous request. It's about 0.115 acres. And we also are looking to correct the zoning. This has been an existing duplex for some time.
Thanks, Jason. Anyone from the public here to speak on this topic tonight? Council, do you have any questions for Jason on this one? All right, I'd look for a motion, set a date of second reading for Tuesday, July 2.
Move approval. Second Sale.
All right, motion by Selberg and seconded by Sale on that. Any discussion, council? All right, we'll vote, please.
Councilmember Staley?
Yes.
Brecky?
Yes.
Kylie?
Yes.
Nitzert?
Yes.
Selberg?
Yes.
Sale?
Yes.
Star?
Yes.
All right, that passes 7-0. Counselor Starr, you want to grab your colleague, or? Oh, she was
No, I probably better not grab her, but.
Well. All right, next item, please.
Item 40 is a first reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota rezoning property located south of East Cattail Drive and west of East Red Oak Drive from the RD1 Twin Home Duplex Residential Suburban District to the O Office District number 10356, 2019, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval 4-0. Recommendation set a date of second reading for Tuesday, July 2nd, 2019.
The applicant here is Ryan Tisdale with Van Buskirk's company. The owner is Ryan Hofer with CC Partners LLC. This is located just west of the Rosa Park School, just north of 26th Street. It's about 0.10 acres in size. The purpose is they're just looking at rezoning that little triangular piece to office, and then they have a future office user that's going to use or build a new building on the site.
Got it. Thank you. Is anyone from the public here to speak on this topic? Councilors, you got any questions for Jason on this one? All right, look for a motion, set a date of second reading for Tuesday, July 2 on this.
So moved, Erickson.
Second.
All right, moved by Councilor Erickson, seconded by Kylie. Any discussion, council? Okay, let's vote, please.
Councilmember Staley?
Yes.
Brecky?
Yes.
Erickson? Kylie?
Yes.
Nitzert?
Yes.
Selberg?
Yes.
Sale?
Yes.
Star?
Yes.
All right, that passes 8-0. Item 41.
Item 41 is a first reading and ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, a major amendment, petition number MCPD-192 to Chapter 159.240 Plan Development Districts to allow retail sale and trade, wholesale, personal services, communication facilities, and warehousing in Subarea F of the Perry Plan Development District on the property legally described as Tract 1, X lots 1 and 2, Genie's Addition, northeast 1/4, southeast 1/4, all in Section 28 T101 North R48W. Recommendation set a date of second reading for the joint Sioux Falls City Council Minnehaha County Commission meeting of Tuesday, June 25th, 2019.
The applicant here is Brent Driscoll. This property is located within our joint jurisdiction area with the city of Sioux Falls and Minnehaha County, just east of the Arboretum and the river. The applicant is looking to add some additional text to an already existing commercial sub-area of a PD within the county. They're just looking to add wholesale warehousing to that PD. It already has several conditional or commercial uses, so they're just looking at adding one additional use to it.
All right, thanks, Jason. Anyone from the public here to speak on this topic? All right, councilors, do you have any questions on this for Jason? All right, I'd look for a motion, set a date of second reading for Tuesday, June 25.
Move approval.
Second. All right, motion by Selberg and seconded by Kylie on that. Any discussion, council? Clerk will take a vote.
Councilmember Staley?
Yes.
Brecky?
Yes.
Erickson? Yes. Kylie?
Yes.
Nitzert?
Yes.
Selberg?
Yes.
Sale?
Yes.
Starr?
Yes. All right, that's 8-0, that passes. Next item, please.
42 is a resolution advising and giving consent to the appointment of members to the Southeastern Council of Governments, CCOG, Board of Directors, Urbanized Development Commission, UDC, and Sioux Empire Leadership Council, those being for CCOG, Pat Starr, Teresa Staley, and Jim David as an alternate. For UDC, Greg Nitzert, Rick Kiley, Pat Starr, Janet Brecky, with David Bixler and Jim David serving as alternates. And for the Sioux Empire Leadership Council, Rick Kiley and Christine Erickson.
All right, anyone from the public here to speak on this topic tonight? Councilors, any discussion on this, or can I get a motion? Councilor Nitzert?
Yeah, I would just note that I thought I was going to have to present it, but the clerk did such a nice job that I won't have to. And I even had my notes on my cell phone.
You're off the
I will move approval anyway.
Second.
All right, moved by Councilor Nitzert, seconded by Sale. Any other discussion? All right, we'll take a vote, please.
Councilmember Staley?
Yes.
Brecky?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Kylie?
Yes.
Nitzert?
Yes.
Selberg?
Yes.
Sale?
Yes.
Starr?
Yes. All right, that passes 8-0. Item 43.
Item 43 is a resolution of the City of Sioux Falls approving the preliminary plan of RB Flower Fields Addition.
This is the preliminary subdivision plan that went along with the rezoning that we are doing just west of the Cliff Avenue Greenhouse. As I indicated before, they're looking at constructing and finishing out that subdivision with some single-family houses there in Phase 2. And then along 41st Street, there'll be some twin home lots, and then those villa-type cluster single-family lots to the north of the twin homes.
Thanks, Jason. Anyone from the public here to speak on this topic tonight? Councilors, do you have any questions on this? Look for a motion on it.
Move to approve.
Second, Sale.
All right, motion approved by Kylie and seconded by Sale. Any discussion, council? We'll call for a vote.
Councilmember Staley?
Yes.
Brecky?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Kylie?
Yes.
Nitzert?
Yes.
Selberg?
Yes.
Sale?
Yes.
Starr?
Yes. All right, that passes 8-0. Item 44.
Item 44 is a resolution declaring certain real property of the city surplus and authorizing the demolition and salvage thereof.
Good evening, Matt.
Good evening, Council, Mayor. Matt Tobias, Planning and Development Services. This resolution tonight is it's a contractual agreement between the city and Habitat for Humanity. We're going to work on a contract where we'll allow the Habitat for Humanity to come into a home after the city has purchased it. And if our intentions are to demolish the house, Habitat for Humanity will have the ability to come in and pull salvageable materials out of the house and then sell them at the Habitat for Humanity Center. Obviously, we're always looking to move a house when it fits when the needs are there and when it fits right. In these cases, these houses were bought for drainage purposes, public works. So these three houses, there's three houses at this point in time that we purchased that will be demolished. And so we're looking to enter in this agreement with Habitat to go in and pull the materials, salvageable materials, the cabinets, the carpet, whatever they can. So it's up to Habitat to decide what's salvageable and what's not, so.
All right, thank you, Matt. Anyone from the public here to speak on this topic tonight? Council members, do you have questions? Oh, are you here, sir? Come forward, please.
Hi, Stephen Ciano. I love the idea of this reuse of old stuff. Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, council, do you have any questions for Matt on this? Councilor Erickson.
Matt, have we done this before? Have we?
No, we have not.
How did this come about? I mean, it just seems to make sense of why
Honestly,
not.
It came about, Adam Roach and I were having a discussion in my office about a couple months ago. And we thought, and the topic came up that because we've demoed, I've walked through houses before and that we were gonna demo. And you see that I would have liked these cabinets in my garage or whatever, but so you see these salvageable materials in there. And so then the conversation, then we started talking, we reached out to Habitat, and then this is where we kind of ended up, so.
That's great. Thank you. I like it.
I'd look for a motion on this item.
Move to approve, Erickson.
Second, Kylie?
Okay, move to approve by Erickson, seconded by Kylie. Any further discussion? I just gotta say, nice tie, Matt. Never seen you in a tie. You look good. Let's call for a vote, please.
Councilmember Staley?
Yes.
Brecky?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Kylie?
Yes.
Nitzert?
Yes.
Selberg?
Yes.
Sale?
Yes.
Star?
Yes.
All right, that passes 8-0. Councilors, you got any new business?
Move to adjourn, Star.
All right.
Second.
Seconded by Selberg. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All those opposed? All right, we are adjourned. Good night, everybody.
That's about as hurtful a thing as you could. See?
Yeah.